Hello everyone, Troy here. Today I'll be taking a look at the many frauds of the Narutoverse. Now, when you hear the word fraud, I know you're probably wondering what I mean by that. Well, just by fraud, I just mean that people who don't live up to their reputation, or people that are a bit of a letdown in the grand scheme of things. Now, starting this discussion, we have Itachi's partner in crime, Kisame. Kisame was always very overrated within this fandom, and I guess that's because he's Itachi's duo or like the main guy for Itachi. But for someone as strong and seemingly invincible as Itachi, Kisame just falls flat. If we go through his many fights, or should I say L's, we have him encountering Guy the first time with a clone. Now he fights the entirety of Team 10, but that doesn't really matter. They get trapped in a water prison. And I know it's just a clone, so I can't really say that much, but his clone and jutsu just get completely decimated and violated by Sixth Gate Guy. Like, even the clone is surprised at the sheer power of taijutsu, kind of foreshadowing the next fight he has with Guy, where he kind of just gets beat up as well. But it doesn't stop there, because like I mentioned previously, the next time they do battle within 7th Gate, Guy completely destroys the super imp Kisame on Biju Chakra infused with a sword of the 7 ninja swordsmen. He gets beat up so badly to the point where like he can't move and he's just bruised all over. And Guy even goes as far as to tell him, if you move an inch, I will kill you. And he just twitches his finger, and Guy does just that. He punches down on him, destroys him. Like, it's just no contest. Guy with pure taijutsu overpowered Kisame's strongest water attack. That water attack also just being super amped on chakra. Like, it's not even a fair fight. And then he goes on to becoming, to get interrogated and trapped in wood style, but he just commits not alive. Like, he doesn't even live up to anything. Compared to Itachi, he is nothing. And before people bring up his fight with B, oh, he performed well there, or he did good there, B was toying around with this guy the entire fight, and even letting Samahata feed on some of his Biju chakra. So if anything, I would say his sword lives up to a better reputation than him. Samihata just carries him through every fight. It takes chakra, it fuses with him for its strongest form. It eats a lot of B's chakra, helps him out in that fight. Kisame is just a fraud. His sword has better feats than him. Suck it up, I don't care, Kisame just sucks. The next fraud up on our list is Rock Lee. Now, I know, he has a lot of fans and I might get hate for this, but even with his beautiful entrance, destroying Sasuke when they first met and putting on a great power display in the Chunin exams versus Gaara, that's kind of it. He still loses to Gaara, and he still goes on to be very much a letdown and overhyped for the rest of the series. We have his master Guy opening the 8 gates and fighting Mamoru Uchiha and destroying Akatsuki members like Kisame, people who are tied and duoed with Itachi for God's sake. And then we have Lee, only being ever able to open the 6th gate and crying throughout the war and not really contributing to anything much at all. I mean, even in Boruto, he's losing to his son, Metal Lee, in a taijutsu battle after being like a seasoned warrior. And he still can only open up the 6th gate, I think. He was just wasted potential, man. It's tough to see that because I liked his successor a lot. Like, Guy was cracked. He should have been far more cracked than he is now. Guy, even in a wheelchair and not able to walk for the rest of his life, is still outperforming Lee within Boruto. Lee is just the biggest letdown we've seen. Now, this one I'll slip in because it's technically Boruto, but Boruto is a part of Naruto, so it makes sense. But everyone's favorite fraud, Code. I mean, what can I say? The man was hyped up as Jigen's right-hand man. He started the series as someone who was so powerful he was forced to have limiters put on him to hold back his terrifying power. And then he loses to Boruto, Kawaki, can't even touch Momoshiki. And then you kind of think, well, maybe he's going to get his limiters off and become unstoppable, because that is the Code that's hyped up, right? He's hyped up when he's not weakened or not held back by anything. Nope. At the apex of his powers, the absolute pinnacle of his ability, he loses to Damon horribly. Like, it isn't even close. It's so bad that Damon wasn't even trying his hardest. Code is just a generational fraud. He's lost to the almost entirety of the Boruto cast, and I wouldn't be surprised if he lost to his own army at this point. It's just not fair, man. Code is a generational fraud, once seen every 1,000 years. Next up on the fraud list is the one who, before making this video, I actually respected, even though he did some scummy things within the series. But I was thinking hard and I realized he didn't really do anything or amount to anything. But he came in the show and lost. His name is none other than Danzo. Now, besides him literally having to poison Shisui to weaken him, also being so afraid of Uchiha and Itachi that he literally had to form a backstabby plan with the Leaf Village to have Itachi turn on everyone, but he loses to Sasuke. Not just once, not just twice, not even 3 times. He loses over 6 times within one fight. He literally had a package deal for L's. He had an entire jutsu that made him nigh invincible just to have a teenage, emotionally unstable boy come in and destroy everything he built up. That is hands down just the most unfortunate end of someone I've ever seen in fiction. Danzo, just like Code, is a fraud seen once every 100 years. But hey, he's still kinda cool to me. The fraudulent list continues with the Sage of 6 Paths himself. Now this one might shock everyone because, you know, super strong guy, kind of started the whole Ninshu thing and spread chakra, and his offspring are kind of the reason we have this show in the first place. But like his older brother Hamura said, he's kind of the reason that the shinobi way failed in the first part. He's also the reason that Indra even turned evil. Besides Zetsu's influence, we see how he gives all of the power to Ashura. That even causes Indra to think he's being unfair and starts up his jealousy route. Then we meet him in the war arc. He gets surpassed by Madara and has to leave it up to Naruto and Sasuke to defeat Madara. Then Kaguya emerges, and I know you're prepared to say, oh, he beat Kaguya in the past, or he made Naruto and Sasuke super strong, but all of those have context. It's like he had help to beat Kaguya, and it was after a month of fighting, and she shared her chakra with him and Hamura. And he also gave Naruto and Sasuke power, yeah, but they did all of the heavy lifting. Yeah, they had the steals, but they're stronger than Hagoromo. They had to train and get to a certain level by themselves so that his boost would amount to anything. So yeah, he had good intentions, but they fell kind of flat. He does do more than the other frauds, but that's expected. He's the god of the verse. Before the god of the verse, his mistakes shouldn't have been as dramatic and as much as they were. The next fraud is for some reason everyone's favorite Uchiha, Kisame Uchiha. Now for a guy who has supposedly had the strongest genjutsu and was like Itachi's super strong best friend or best buddy or whatever, he doesn't do anything. Like, we hear about the guy, but then he gets poisoned and loses to another fraud, i.e. Danzo. But then, just when you think it can't get any worse, his main thing, genjutsu, can apparently only be used once every couple years or once every 10 years, making anyone that stole his eyes use it better than him. Like, Danzo shortened the years to days via Hashirama cells, so he's already doing better than Shisui, and Itachi stopped the war with it. So it seems like Shisui couldn't even properly utilize his abilities, and he out-frauded the fraud. I don't care about any of his fans, man. Y'all have to be honest. He's by far the worst of the 5 Uchiha, with showings like he's worse than Sasuke, by far, worse than Madara, worse than Obito, worse than Itachi. Who's he competing with? Fugaku? That guy only had like what, a couple pages to himself? Like, come on, for someone as hyped up as him, he just didn't do anything throughout the series. The next fraud is another technicality, but whatever. We have Momoshiki within the Boruto manga when he's not inside of Boruto. Now, I will admit, Momoshiki in the anime and novels was on demon time, like he was a smoke demon who could actually back up his talk. In the anime, he's clashing with both Naruto and Sasuke while reacting and actually standing his ground. Even in the novels, it stated, yeah, he could probably beat them individually, but they jumped him, so it's whatever. But in the manga, he's literally clashing with and getting reacted to by base Naruto. When he transforms, Naruto just bullies him even more. Like, Naruto goes into KCM and just beats him around, hits him so hard he does like a quadruple backflip into Sasuke. But that's his strongest form. Before he absorbs Kinshiki, he's somehow even worse. He's literally running from Darui while his teammate is getting jumped across the battlefield. When he gets within Boruto and starts to take over, I will admit he is a demon and actually causes causes damage. He like stabs out Sasuke's Rinnegan and he beats up Code, almost kills Naruto, does the same to Kawaki. But before that, he's just like a filler villain. He's not menacing at all. He's easily overcome. He's just not that guy. Now, the biggest fraud ever seen in Naruto history has to be Urashiki. This man, coming from a clan of space parasitic gods that eat planets for fun and beat around on Naruto and Sasuke, starts his introduction losing to Gaara and Jojiro. Literally, the people fuse Momoshiki one shot. He starts it losing to them. But that's not it. He goes on to try and fight Boruto and Shinki, you know, Gaara's little son, then gets his horn blown off and beat up by them also, a bunch of kids, after attacking the Saiyan village and stealing a bunch of chakra. But wait, hold on, that's not it. Because he time travels to try and make his job easier to attack like Naruto when he was a kid, and proceeds to lose to Kid Naruto, Kid Boruto, and Bates Jiraiya, the pain victim. But hold on, that's not it. He eats his eyes, transforming into his final form, just to lose to Nine Tails, One-Tailed Mode Naruto, and Boruto's Rasengan. For someone apparently revered as the strongest in the Otsutsuki clan, he does not live up to it at all. I mean, come on, he's looking like a sub-pain level threat at this point. He's looking like if the Akatsuki walked up on him, they would actually successfully beat him. I'm pretty sure if he joined the war arc in Naruto, he wouldn't even make a difference. They would probably just beat him up like the other Edos and seal him. Urashiki honestly just sucks, man. He had so much potential too. He had all these cool abilities. He was hyped up with these guide statements. He was supposed to be like the one disrespecting Momo behind his back. He's like, oh, this guy is really good. He sealed Toneri in time. I thought he was gonna come and actually be on Demon Time. But no, he just lost to a bunch of kids, then went back in time for an easier time, and then lost to a bunch of kids too. He just sucks. Now, closing out, we have a bunch of honorable mention frauds, right? First, we have Jiraiya. I mean, this whole thing is like he's a loser, and he's just doesn't live up to his potential. I mean, Ishiki even says it. He failed at Sage Mode. He failed to beat Pain and died. I love Jiraiya, but the facts are the facts. We also have Kabuto. He started a whole war, then lost his first fight. Like, he was up against Uchiha Jesus, but regardless, like, come on, man. You lost your first fight, and you're trying to be like a harbinger of war. Can't do that. Hiruzen, apparently he surpasses Hashirama within his prime. He's like the strongest Hokage. Then he got old and couldn't even defeat Orochimaru, which is a massive drop in strength. I don't even want to start to begin how badly Hashirama would do Orochimaru. It's just not close. Lastly, we have the 5 Kage of course, the Naruto generation. They pulled up to the war, didn't really do anything, proceeded to get embarrassed just to show off how cool and overpowered Madara was. They had a bit of some cool moments fighting against him and his clones, but ultimately they didn't amount to anything. Even when the spellcaster of the Edo Tensei got like defeated and Madara started to wisp away, while he was doing that, he rushed in, threw fireballs at him, stopped the Edo Tensei for himself, then one-shot them and almost killed them again. Then they came back to join the war only to be fought by one wooden statue the whole time. There's a lot of frauds in Naruto, but there's also a lot of people who live up to the potential. If y'all want to see like a part 2 of the people who actually lived up to their potential in Naruto, comment down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye.